we're not as organized as our predecessors here, but so Sandeep.
We just have to wing it because Rajiv has not prepared me at all. He says, "Come and wing it," so we're winging it.
Yeah. So me and Sandeep kind of met because we did this installation called the Preamble at Stir in Delhi,
Which we loved and we bought.
which
And
now
we
Sandeep
bargained
is the proud
for.
owner of. So exactly. So basically, he put his money where his mouth is. He appreciated it, and then he said, "Okay, I'm going to buy it." So Iram, you need to buy one. But we'll talk later. But so fundamentally, that's how we met, and then we got talking, and then we sort of figured that there's a lot of stuff that he does, that he imagines and creates. And being in the fashion industry, I think like how Shantanu is brave with colors, I think he has a bit of a crazy head. So things that he imagines, I can't help at all. I mean, I can never think like that. But what I can do is resolve it, right? So, I mean, I love the details. I love working things out. So I love the nitty-gritties. And I think that's where sort of imagination and sort of some sort of technical know-how paired. And along
So very
that,
much like you, Iram, what you said, we dream and then he realized those dreams. And quite impossibly we dream, and we all have those plans who want to see references and kaisa lagega, and that doesn't happen with us now. So we just said, leave it to us, and then it's fun to do. But if you're giving reference, then it's no fun to do, because you don't create original then. And it's about creating original for this house. And I absolutely hate curtains. We hate curtains in living room spaces.
considering you work with fabrics all the time.
Yeah, but work with fabric. But then it's the most obvious thing to do, embroidered curtains. And then because we work in textile and so closely in textile, then you want to go away from what you do in your everyday life and you want to do something different. Something different being the key word. Oh God, no, I should never have said this. So we were thinking of something. We had this massive space in Hyderabad to do for a really young couple who'd given us the carte blanche to do whatever we wanted to do. So I was thinking of these panels. We said, let's do panels, and I said, let's do seagulls. Remembering from my youth this lovely book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull, exactly, by Richard Bach, and we all cried on it, and we all broke many bangles on those books in those days.
Sorry.
Over to Rajiv now.
No, so this is where he basically started. It's actually his concept, his thought behind as well. So it was inspired by flight. The idea was a sense of a screen or a curtain, and inspired by this kind of a bird in flight, and we tried to sort of do different iterations of it, how it will transient, sort of show the movement, but at the same time more abstract and less sort of detailed or intricate. And then from this form ideation, we kind of played around with the idea that in different stages of flight.
And nothing is easy in our life, and so we had to make life for Rajiv really difficult, because they had to be cut out and they had to be lit as well.
Yeah, so it had to be illuminated, it had to be revolving, and to kind of course this is about 24 feet high, roughly. Yeah. And so each of these rotates on its own axis on a torsion bearing, and each of them is illuminated. The cutout is illuminated from within. And then Sandeep said one side needs to be metal and one side needs to be wood. And let's complicate
It's a grand
life.
ambition always, why not? And also it was individually moving also because you could set it in different ways. The whole idea was to set them in different ways. You could actually see the flight happening as you chose that night or that day.
So this was the kind of the drawing, the number of panels, I think 92 or 96, something like that, and each one revolving on its own axis, and therefore supporting it was a challenge, but that's how it looks at night.
That's how it looks at night, yeah.
Yeah, the project's not been photographed, so these are site pictures. But yeah, so that's the kind of space within it. Then of course the Clo Boys.
The Glow Boys came into the light. We give them a design, and
Yeah.
hopefully they won't repeat it. So the wonderful thing about that is that the panels are that during the whole day they take different forms. During sunset, sunrise, during the day, and the evening. They all look different all the time.
Yeah, so they rotate, they're physically moved. So every time someone's housekeeping or dusting it, it changes. If you're walking by, you can kind of just, like what's the Buddhist temple which has those prayer wheels? Thank you. My memory bank is prompting me.
Unfortunately not. We like everything on dimmers, but this is quite difficult to dim. Yeah. But the lights dim, so only this gets lit. So when only this is lit, it looks quite magical.
So actually, because the light is carried only in the thickness of the shape, it doesn't actually illuminate from within. Like, sorry, I'm just going to point. This one looks like it's glowing, but it's actually just the edge which is illuminated. Yeah. So that was all Sandeep. And then for the same house,
we wanted to do the main door, same house. So I wanted to do a really thick glass, many bevels on it, and also because it is the entrance of a door and the entrance of the house, we said why not bring in, because we're big believers in Balaji, so why not bring in his tika, his tilak. So we brought in the tilak in a much more modern way, of course, more than this. It took Rajiv 3 doors and many millions to finally get it together. He abuses me still for this door.
Yeah, so there were about 600 glass pieces, little more than 600, and we had to make them 6 times. So we wasted a lot of glass. It was not eco-friendly. The sustainability pavilion will probably throw a bomb on me. But yeah, so our existence is not always sustainable. But so that's the tilak. That's the size of the door. It's about 4.1 meters in height. And the Balaji tilak kind of adorns and becomes the handle.
That's how you open the door.
Yeah. So the engineering part of it, which kind of excited me a lot, was one is the mad imagination to think that you can make a door like this. Was of course the madman on the other side of the stage, but
and it's thick. The door is thick.
Yeah, the door is monstrously thick because they're all 10 mm thick glass panels. 4 of them on one side, 4 on the other side. So 8 create one panel. So how do you make it a double glaze unit? How do you not have it's air conditioning inside? It's obviously hot as hell outside, like in the rest of India currently. But so layers of that, and then from that, his of course minor thing was that no frame should be visible. How can you see a frame? Come on. And the doorway is only 1.5 ton each, and it should open easily. No locks.
No locks.
Yeah. So it's basically on a access control lock with e-key and all of that stuff. And then there are massive torsion bearings, 2 inverted at the bottom of this. So it does open with a finger. As of yet.
Yes, as of yet, yes.
And the Balaji tilaks became the handles, which are another layer further on it. So 632 panels of glass, weighs 1.5, hygroscopic material in the infill. And that's how the door looks. So that's the visual which Sandeep's team gave us as a starting point. And that's what came out of it. So of course you see the frames and stuff like that, but yeah,
we had fun doing this.
So sorry, I did that. No, it was fun. I think the client was super gracious, and it took a truckload of time because it's experimenting, you're messing around, and it's gonna go wrong if you're experimenting to do something. But eventually we pulled it off. They're super excited, and now they realize that you can't replicate this. So and Sandeep has me sign an NDA and a non-replication clause.
But you wouldn't even do it after.
I don't want to do it again.
Another time. You want to relive the nightmare.
Yeah.
But I must say, these pictures are not doing justice to what it
To
looks
both
like.
the things actually.
So if
Yeah.
you're ever in Hyderabad, do have a look.
There. We have lots of Hyderabad
Home.
crew here. Yeah.
Look at the home one day.
Yeah, they're actually super
Quite
gracious. They'd be
spectacular,
happy to show it also. So,
Yeah.
at Sandeep's request. There. This is your, what is this called? I forget. But this is basically
This is just one of our typical embroideries that we're doing, and we do them in mirror, we do them in thread. So from this, we draw inspiration to even doing an artwork on the walls.
correct.
Now, which we've done some lovely mirror walls for somebody. This is typically a skirt, but this it's got so many geometric patterns happening here. You can actually turn it into anything that you want it to. Each panel could be a carpet, anything could be. And you could interpret it with so many different colors. And colors being, we love white, of course, but then colors also a really strong point for us. We love lots and lots of color.
Yeah. So
This-
again, we're always looking for pattern making, right? And we're always drawing inspiration. And a lot of his
Each of these could be a door. Technically. As a design, whether you put glass in it or put colored glass in it. I thought of it just now, Rajiv.
There goes one more door. More complicated now. But yeah, so in this case, basically what we're looking to do is a kind of a flooring. So drawing inspiration from that, from the patterns of that, and then extrapolating that into a flooring sort of inlay using Kota. So this is possibly something that we're going to do with Sandeep in
Future.
yeah. So it's kind of being developed. Of course, the colors may or may not go, but yeah. So that's how the inlay will work. But again, so the collaborative part for us is kind of that fashion as an inspiration and the kind of motifs that they focus on versus what draws my attention would be more like what Shantanu sees. You know, like I'll see the architectural motifs or the architectural iconography, which will stay in my head, and the detailed fashion embroidery will sort of just somehow look the same to me. But to his eye, it's kind of a whole other story. So yeah, but I think that's the long and short of.
That's just a fun bathroom we did. I did after the pandemic, after the first pandemic. One was bored and one used this word every single day of our lives, 100 times over during the pandemic. So I told the girls, come on, I want a fuck wall. And let's use every kind of fuck on it. I rang up my friend Freddie Birdie. I said, please put all the fucking words together. So he put a bunch of them together.
I didn't know this, huh? A different kind of collaboration.
Different kind of collaboration. So Freddie did this one off for us. And it's a black bathroom with all this neon going on. And this color keeps changing. It can go on to multicolors, it can go to blue, it can go to red. It's the mood of the moment in the bathroom, which measures about 7 by 4. So you can't get up too much.
So yeah. So we're going to end on that note.
Short and sweet. Thank you so much.